everybody! My name is Tinokin and we are here on Grimer's server where we are trying to build the best possible zoo. I'm starting this episode down here in my base because I haven't been online for a couple of days and the prank event has still been going on, and so I didn't want to get spoiled. Okay, let's see. Ooh, I see something already. Let's have a look at that. This tree has been growing like crazy and I constantly need to remove the leaves. I hope that eventually maybe it will get big enough that the leaves stop bothering me. So what do we have here? Ah, it's a snail. That is so pretty. Oh, and we got some slime blocks. Those are actually rather handy. Do we have any sign of who made this? I have no idea who made this. Is there something inside? I can't see anything inside here. Okay, I will probably have to ask who made this cute little snail for me, but I really, really like it. You are so cute. Alright, looks like we've been... Oh, what the heck is that? Alright, I guess we don't have to ask who made that. Wow. That is huge. It's so big. Ah, that looks majestic, Grimer. Good job. I like that. And it's actually in a place where I'm not sure. I didn't plan to build over there in that biome, but I did plan to kind of put a bigger mountain here, so we'll have to see, because I'm actually kind of thinking about leaving this up because that's really cool. Thanks, Grimer. So speaking of pranks, last episode we pulled the epic Ravager prank on Grimer, and it was a lot harder than I thought it would be, and I died a whole lot, and I lost some stuff. I got all the stuff back already, luckily, because Gran is letting me use her villagers, and that made everything a lot easier. But still, the last episode was pretty tough for me. And then I found out, or told me, that apparently the tranquilizer darts from the ZAWA mod also work on the Ravagers, not just the capture cages. So yeah, I could have saved myself a lot of pain. Not necessarily the pain from the raid and the Vex, but definitely the pain from the Ravagers that I had later, if I had known that and prepared accordingly. So I guess I pranked myself. But today I want to get back to working on the zoo. We have 2 exhibits so far. We have the bunnies, who are still very happy down there in their little clover field. And we have the guinea pigs. So next I had thought about putting the capybara exhibit up here on this platform, but since we currently have the snail there, maybe I will wait another episode with this, just so I can admire the snail for a little bit longer before I have to remove it. And we can focus on the squirrel exhibit instead, because actually I've been finding some squirrels, so I think we do have enough for an exhibit, even though I would want there to be at least a handful of squirrels in there. We can't have a squirrel exhibit with just 1 or 2 squirrels. I don't think that works. And I would put that here. We don't have a whole lot of space left here, so it might get a little bit cramped, but since squirrels are animals that can climb, I wanted to make this a little bit like taller instead of wider. So I think we should be fine. I just looked at this from the other side and I didn't even notice the outstretched hand the first time around. So it's definitely worth it to look at this from multiple angles. So unlike the other exhibits, I don't want to put this one into the ground. I want to build it high up with like a net-like fence around it and something for the roof as well. So I want there to be a lot of verticality in this exhibit. And to give the squirrel something to climb on, I want to plant a tree. I want to try planting a dying tree. I'm not sure how well this is going to work. Those trees also don't give a lot of acorns, so I really hope it works. But the thing about these trees is that they don't have many leaves, so that's going to be a big advantage. And I think I may have to take off this branch of that tree here so that we have enough room for the new exhibit. But I'm going to have to start with the tree so that it has room to grow. So I'm going to fill this up with normal grass for now, and we're going to do the ground texturing later. Okay, let's see. So far, so good, actually. I mean, that's an awkward tree, but fine. That's more leaves than I expected. I had hoped for less leaves, but even if I remove some of them now, they're just going to grow back. So I may have to live with this. Or I plant another tree with prettier leaves, but then I'm definitely going to have much more leaves, which also isn't ideal. So maybe I'll just leave it at that. Okay, so next I'm gonna lay out where the edge of the exhibit is going to go. And I have the option of using part of this boulder for the exhibit as well, and I think that could be quite neat. It would just be a small part of the edge here though. You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking maybe I should just make a custom tree instead of trying to grow one, because that's, well, with the growing trees I have too little control over the process, but I can use these branches to create a custom tree, I guess. Not the way I'm doing it now. But better. And I can also maybe use some logs for the main stem, and that way maybe I can also get 2 trees in here. So I think that's a good idea, and sorry, that oak tree, you need to go. Oh hey, at least I got the acorn back. Anyway, this is the outline, and now I want to raise the fence so that I know how much space I have inside and can get started on the tree. So this kind of turned out a bit bigger than I was expecting, but I mean, that's great for the squirrels, but right now it does look a little bit ugly with with that texture, how it mixes, and also, yeah, the shadows moving gives me a bit of a headache. I hope that once we have decorations inside, it's going to look better. And if that doesn't help, I will probably also add some greenery to the outside, like maybe some plants growing down here, like some hanging leaves, something like that, to break it up a little bit. I also in between realized that if I wanted to put a tree on that boulder, I would have to do it now. So I did. So we have another one of those purple trees there. And I decorated that boulder and the stone surrounding here with like the normal overgrown stone and the mossy stone variants. Yeah, but now it's time to work on the trees and the climbing stuff in here. To be honest, I'm not sure. Do squirrels hurt themselves from fall damage? I hope not, or at least I hope that if they do climb, they are smart enough not to fall off. That would be nice. Uh-oh. Okay. I didn't light up the place back there. I need to do some lighting up there before I close it up. But first, I'm gonna build the trees, the custom trees. I brought some spruce wood, some oak logs, tons of branches, and a few leaves. There should be some leaves on there, but not too many, of course. So now I want to try to emulate a spruce tree and an oak tree somehow in a not too leafy way. Okay, I'd say this is fairly good. I have some sparse leaves, but I won't have to worry about them regrowing. And the spruce tree does have a few more leaves, but I think that is okay. So I'm getting excited about the thought of the squirrels climbing around on there. I'm wondering if they actually will. We will still have to see about that. So the next step is to also make the ground nice for them. just in case they want to stay on the ground, but also because, well, the ground needs to look nice for the exhibit anyway. I want this to look foresty, so I'm going to use some patches of podzol and coarse dirt to make it look that way. And instead of sprinkling it around like I usually do, I want to make some bigger patches. Yeah, I like how that looks. Now, before I forget it, let me put in some light. And another thing I think we should have in here is some rotting logs on the ground. I mean, my hope is that the squirrels won't hang out on the ground that much, but it just makes sense with a forest setting, I think. And the rotting logs can have some moss on them as well. Let's put some bushes on the ground as well. Now, I've been thinking what kind of flower would go well in here, and I think those violet leather flowers would work well, because they kind of look like bluebells, and I think bluebells grow in the forest. So I want to have a couple of those in here. That's lovely. I think the rest is going to be mainly ferns and grass, because usually in the forest you don't get that many flowers, right? Because there's not enough light, but you get lots of ferns and those kind of things. Okay, lovely. I've added some of those leaf piles on the ground as well, especially on the podzol and dirt blocks to make them blend in just a little bit better. I'm getting real forest vibes from this place. I love it. So we've got a really lovely place in here, but I've been thinking, and I do think that all that wire is a little bit too busy. I don't want to get rid of all of it because I think it looks quite realistic for an enclosure of this kind, but I want to exchange the stuff at the top with exhibit glass, and then some of the panes facing the path here with glass panes, so that we have a better way of looking inside without having that wire in our way. So I'm just gonna remove these and use the exhibit glass instead, which is such a nice block. Unfortunately, the exhibit glass panes are not going to work with the wire because they sit on the edge of the block instead of the middle like the wire does. So I'm just going to use normal glass panes. Oh, thank God they connect. Okay, that's something that I was worried about a little bit. And oh look, I have the connected texture, so that's going to look much better anyway. Yeah, I think this definitely looks much better and gives us a way better view of the animals inside. So, of course, I also want to take care that the surroundings are looking nice and pretty. And over here near the rabbit pen, I already did that last time. But one thing that I didn't add much of are these sprouts that you can place on the stones. And I really love those because putting them on the stone blocks just helps them blend in so much more. But they are quite difficult to get. You can usually get them in the nether, but that is pretty tedious and dangerous. But when we did the prank on Grimer, I noticed that he had tons of them on his volcano island, and so I asked if I could get some of them, and Grimer said sure. So thanks a lot, Grimer. Now I have quite a few. And as you could see in the intro, that is mainly stuff that I took from underneath places that he had already built over, so I don't think he will be missing them much. So now I'm going to give the same treatment to this side over here. And then down there, I have a ton of terraforming to do, but that is something that I will save for off camera, because that's really not something that I need to bore you guys with. Guys, I have really bad news. As you can see, I am standing here in my really cool taxonomically sorted animal storage, and I'm probably going to have to change all of it. Yeah. Because we just added another mod to the server, the Wonders of the World mod, that comes with some really cool animals. Like Grimer already found the serval on a recent stream. There's kiwis. There's another little cat called the margay, I think. Yeah, there's so many cool animals in this mod. And also, I think the next Zoo and Wild Animal mod update also isn't too far away. So yeah, I'm probably going to have to do some work here and group some animals together so that I can fit everything in here. And hopefully I can mostly keep the structure that I've created here. But anyway, let's have a look at the squirrel box. So the ones in the nets are the ZAWA squirrels. I have 3 of them, and one of them is a Eurasian red, which I love a lot because those are the squirrels that are around where I live and where I grew up. And then I have 4 squirrels from the Best Animals Plus mod, and I don't really remember what color they are, so we're gonna have to see. Okay, let me get in there. We're gonna lock this up. I left myself a little hole up there to get out. And now I want to let out the squirrels. I brought the default name tags again, but as always, I would like you to suggest some names for these squirrels. And now we do the usual thing where we release the animals and then they run away and I struggle to name tag them. The way I've designed this exhibit is not that easy to get around when you're 2 blocks tall like I am, so I think the squirrels will have an easy time running away from me. And I really hope they like it in here and they don't take damage from everything. Fingers crossed. Okay. That is the Eurasian red. Oh, it's so cute. I love these little guys so much. Then we have an Eastern Grey. And another Eastern Grey. So far this is going quite well. Next we have the Better Animals Plus ones. Oh, that's also a red one. That's very nice. Number 2. Get out of there. Number 3. Another red one. And number 4 from the Better Animals Plus ones. All right. We've got 7 squirrels in here, I hope. Still. Let's get out and look at them from the outside. Oh, look at that! They go vertical. That's so cool. I don't actually think that the ZAWA ones do this, but all the other squirrels are pretty busy just jumping up and down. So I like you, little guy. You are doing really, really well. Okay, and I hope that you can calm down once you have acclimated to your new environments. And then maybe you can try out the nice trees that I built for you, huh? What do you think? And speaking of naming animals, thank you so much to the people who left comments on the bunny video with name suggestions for the bunnies. So first of all, Cinnamon suggested the name Bugs, as in Bugs Bunny. And I think that should be a brown bunny since, well, Bugs Bunny is more gray, but I think the brown fits better than the white. So let's go. And then Patroclus suggested 3 names that are apparently from the cartoon Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which does have some rabbit samurai. I have to admit I never watched it. I didn't watch much TV as a child. But we have the first name Miyamoto. Now I just need to catch one of them. Miyamoto, there we go. Usagi. And the last one is Yojimbo. Oh, you are Bugs. No, I'm not renaming you. Let's get you instead, huh? Wonderful. Well, everyone, I'm really happy with our new squirrel exhibit. I think it looks really great. And now we have 2 of the red squirrels climbing the trees. That's an improvement, I guess. But that is it for this episode, but I have big plans for the future. So next I want to tackle the capybara exhibit up there where the snail currently resides. And then another thing that I have been playing around with in my mind for a while now is that I would really love to have some breeding facility so that I can help breed some of the new animals that we have. That's really important right now. We have, for example, that pair of servals that needs to be multiplied so that everyone can have one because it's really hard to find animals on the server sometimes. So that is also something that I want to tackle soon. And of course, there's lots of terraforming to be done, which, as I said, I probably want to keep to in-between episodes. So that's just some info for you for what's in store in the coming videos. Anyway, thank you all very much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Maybe consider leaving a like if you did. And I'm going to see you in the next one. Bye bye!